Hey, so this is Sam Serious, episode of GTNH here. I'm working towards EV equipment now. I got a lot of titanium prep work. I got a lot of neodymium being processed right now. Um, I've replaced all the HV gas generators with combustion generators. So these EBFs are now running off of high octane gas. Where's the mirror? Oh, there's the mirror. So. I was low on neodymium, so I wound up having to go to the moon to gather some. I came back and discovered that all the benzene just been burnt through. Saw the powerless ovens were running. Saw that the nitrogen production system was not working. So all sorts of red flags issue. When I came around, I came to notice that both these distillation towers were down due to maintenance issues. And consider the fact, I doubt I would have burnt through that much benzene, 8.3 million liters of benzene in a few hours, so I'm suspecting this may have happened before I've left for the moon. At least the lack of benzene production, that is. Excuse me, I'm fighting a sore throat. Anyways, came back just to be displeasured by the fact that the EBFs weren't running anymore. But yeah, turbo combustion generators, for them each, all those EBFs being powered at EV power. So I'm slowly producing all the black steel and necessary for all the wires, all the neodymium ingots. I've been slowly grabbing and converting to rods necessary for the EV motors. The first EV systems I'm going to create will be the besides the centrifuge I've already made already, but the first EV structures I want to make here would be the macerators. They have parallel processing that can power at HV. I can go four of the I'm willing to bet that I can overclock them with four of the combustion generators. That with parallel processing would make it worth my time to produce. So two of those for processing system here. Then I may inclined to create some LCRs to completely replace all these chemical reactors. So I got a small task to do. In the meantime, in between episodes, I did take, besides me being in moon stuff, I did take the liberty to create even more arcane levitators. So now all the hallways in this space at the central junction will have the arcane levitators. Whew, this is really never had this much problem before. I guess the timing has to be right. By the way, I have an idea that could possibly fix that in the future. So in the meantime, I'm gonna make all the necessary components to really ramp up ore processing. I also am wanting to redo a little bit of applied energistic system too as well. Like I mentioned before, I want like a central spine of dense cable to carrier network to go four directions near the main hallways of the space, and then have them branch out from the basement all the way up to the top floor of the space. Not immediately, considering the fact I don't really have any plans for top flooring time soon. But yeah, at least it would be a good way of getting things set up for the first floor. in this year. I'm also wanting to relocate the fluid ME system too as well to a more centralized location. I've been thinking about some things more and more and more. I originally was thinking to have this room hold all the fluid items and essential storage, but thinking about things even more, I think it might be more efficient if I were to convert each respective wing, branching it based to a specific storage type. So I'm thinking this area before would be all about item storage. Next wing would be all about fluid storage. And then this wing, essentia storage. Actually, in second thought, this wing would be essentia storage where it's closer to the atomic altar, the fusion altar there. And then this area here will be the central hub for the carrier network. That's what I'm going to do with this. So I'll eventually be modifying the hallways a little bit. This might warrant a change with the kitchen, maybe. Don't know yet. I'll have to play around with that idea. So, there's some ambitions in mind to get things really going. Nice to be able to top perspective in the terrarium. Nice to have this tree here. I'm kind of sad it's not the original tree due to that zombie. It is what it is. Anyhow, without further ado, I'm going to hyper focus on the industrial macerators. We see all of them, and I'm about ready to build it. Alrighty. Should have enough materials to put the macerator together. So what's the structural guidelines with this here? So it's a 3 by 3 by 6. I want to see if I can, let's see here, 60% faster than using a single block of the same voltage, maximum of NX tier parallels. If I'm able to overclock this, it should be putting at EV tier. So let's see here. What? So maximum of N times T tier parallels into initially. So N times tier. So this will be tier 4 power. So if I'm correct, this should be 2 times 4, which, if I'm doing this right, should mean that this should be able to process 8 recipes simultaneously. If my assumption here is correct, that is. Oh, without further ado, time to get on going.
So, I managed to get all the ore processing majorly upgrade, for the most part anyways. Just a few bottlenecks here and there that I can't deal with right now, but it's been done. I meant to do like a periodic time lapse for like each of the components that I'm replacing. However, the recordings went very weird or were in a very poor quality. And I wasn't about to go out on my way to generate contents that either didn't exist or is too unreliable in performance for y'all to see. So the two macerators, they're extremely fast. Like 20 minutes ago, I had this chest full of bastanite ore. Now it's processed to last that bastanite. Unfortunately, I can't put all the crushed dust into this chest if there's no more space for the ore washing plants. But I can at least stockpile the crushed version of that to queue up for ore washing plant later on. And this macerator is also picking up all the products from the ore washing plants slowly too as well. I've moved the industrial centrifuge from where I originally had it before I went to the moon, and replaced the 8 turbo centrifuges I had here before. Words are hard. Anyways, and its improvement's worth being right here. It's only as fast as the ore washing plants would allow, but at least for now it's here present and able to make do with a bunch of things. Now here, I was able to replace 4 of the HV furnaces here with a stack with a multi-smelter here. It's basically considerably faster versus that. I don't know if the cancel coils matter here, but at this point, I don't mind using cancel here. This is where all the bastanite went, as I was projecting. Already pre-processed, just got to put them through the washer. Only reason why I would do this with bastanite is because I'd be having like a 10% chance at getting some neodymium at some of the items. But for now, it's gonna have to hold off. I think I mentioned this before. I did make a change to the ME depositing system here to a ME interface instead of a bunch of import buses. The import buses are too slow and don't exactly have the immediate response to depositing items, which means I'm having a bunch of items stay out of the chest for long periods of time, just not being put in. So because I'm suspecting I may have lost a bunch of items because of item despawn time. I'm not too concerned about that. But yeah, the EV conveyor belts, multiples going into the interface here, on top of what's cached up in the chest with that. It's worth it. I did hook up a high voltage transformer to a mixer to try to create the Grizium ingots. You may notice that with the ore washing plants that I didn't bother replacing that yet because I need to process Grizium in a EBF that is handling TPV coils. Because of that, I can't replace these HV ore washing plants with the industrial ore washer. What's nice about it though is that it's mostly the Grizium ingots. Most of it is the Grizium machine blocks, stuff like that. So I can make all those. BBF being a bottleneck here. It is like 7 blocks deep. I'm going to have to turn the machine and have it installed sideways here with the multi-block control block. tossed aside behind the purified ore, purified crushed ore centrifuge, not centrifuge, macerator here, in order to make it fit here seamlessly. Like, yeah, I could definitely stall in with the controller at facing towards the wall here, away from the wall here. But the problem is, the space of that would be encroaching into this hallway, which would affect, one, the functionality of this area here too, and two, it'll eat into the aesthetics. Like, this pipe here as is kind of eating into the hallway. That's a change I'm going to make eventually, but important thing is I got the processing system working right now. Oh man, pollution is really a nuisance here. But yeah, I got the ore processing system here set up here. Previously, before with this 4 baserators and this chest, it would take me a few hours to process a full chest worth of ores. These here, as I mentioned, processed through that gold chest worth of items within less than 30 minutes. And I'm doing this with just 2 of the combustion turbines going to each of the machines. Not to mention that the power consumption of these machines will vary accordingly too as well with that. So by far, the benefits of doing all this right now is immediately being worth it. Seems to me these multi-blocks handle things very efficiently versus the single block structures. As soon as I can install the multi-block ore washing plant here, I will replace these here. I already got a ore washer and a chemical bath necessary to craft it in the ME system already. So that's something for the future when the time comes. And it's also nice about the multi-block ore washers that with a screwdriver you can toggle through 2 modes too as well to decide whether or not it is a ore washer or a chemical plant. So I made enough of the Grizzlium ingots to be able to make 2 ore washing multi-block ore washing systems. One for ore washing, the other for chemical washing. There are exclusive recipes that do work with that gives unique items that I would like to be able to have access to through the chemical washer. I believe I'm going to say platinum might be one of them because of the fact that that recipe requires mercury. It's either that or something else. Or is that with bauxite? Give me a second. I mean, with the bauxite, I can get more rutile out of it through a chemical bath, and then the purified bauxite would then go to the rest of the machines as necessary for additional rolls for rutile. But there was another one too as well that I got the best recipe for ilmenite processing. Um, Maybe it is platinum I'm thinking of. Let me see. There's the platinum ore. If there is such thing. Okay. Okay, yes. I do. Obviously, with platinum ore, I do feed that through mercury for more platinum metallic powder dust. But I don't think I'll be able to have access to platinum metallic ore. Matter of fact, I'm not even seeing it through this as a world generated ore at all. At least not with what I'm seeing so far. Look at this then. Nope. Okay. So I've got to get platinum in direct means. Even then, none of the planets I know for a fact doesn't. None of the dimensions of X2 would provide platinum directly like that, anyways. So I'm gonna have to get platinum indirectly. I have browsed through the recipes in regards to the platinum line.
Like dilute sulfuric acid, I can make that. I got production for nitric acid already for Aqua Regia. I believe it's being produced at the power side of the base. Um, and that is going directly into the ME system. To make all this, LV. A good chunk of the platinum recipe that I'm seeing so far is an LV recipe, so I think I can get away with processing platinum at LV should I want to be minimalistic and have the time and be willing to spend a whole time doing so. But I got high octane gas. Why do all that when I can make use of better machines? Like I want to be able to at least use platinum processing at HV tier, even though it's a large power demand. I got the high octane gas for it. I think I can get away with it. Like for a hog here, I'm still at 8.3 million on hog. So I definitely see it very close to the future here to start focusing on the platinum line, especially concerned I want to make use of the TPV coils to one, upgrade the EBFs and a whole bunch of other machines, and two, I want to focus on getting platinum stuff for circuitry components too as well. And I want to be able to get the war washer and stuff made for that. I think there's a whole bunch of other byproducts too as well that comes from platinum processing. I'll have to see what the future brings in that mind with that there. I'll have to do my research. Anyhow, before I even do all that though, the plat line would introduce a whole bunch of other chemicals that that I would have to work with. Now, I do not want to go back to rooting a big nest egg of pipes all over the place again, but that was not a block. Okay, that is an Enderman block. Okay. Ninja skeletons. Why are we spawning? Oh, he must have spawned because of that block. Okay, Enderman causing mischief. Anyways, where was I? The AE system. Now, as y'all have came across in the last episode, I've addressed that the fluid cells have been nerfed by a increase in cell expenses. Now, I do have a EV assembly machine ready. I just need to install it with the appropriate power source. Um, but I still need to make plenty of the Lapitron crystals for the chip components with that, and then to make all the cells necessary to store them in. I'm also wanting to rethink my organization for the ME system. Originally, as I may have mentioned before, originally I was going to have all three of the Essentia stored here. Three types of AE systems here. One for items, fluids, and Essentia storage. But at this point, I feel like I might be setting myself up to have not enough space for growth. So I'm revising how I'm going to do this to where I'm going to dedicate each wing hall to a specific type of item, or type of storage, I should say. This will for sure stay as item storage. I can expand off these walls and then widthwise with that there. This here I can occupy with fluid storage. With the fusion alt being close here, I can create a Essentia storage system here. Plus two be extremely close to that, and I can probably use an Essentia mirror to channel the Essentia to the fusion altar. And then this wing I'll dedicate to expansion of the carrier network. I won't be having like a massive storage room, but it'll at least be an area where I can branch the other three networks through the carrier network through the with the aid of this room here. And this room here will probably be the network room where I will be branching off to each of the outer sides of the base for a with a horizontal branching and a vertical expansion. As I mentioned before, I'm routing all the cables branching out from the basement horizontally up and then going upwards with the dense ME cables. Doing all that should then allow me to expand stories of the building, depending on what the future has to offer, of course. Don't know, too soon to tell, but I do have that idea in mind. So anyways, I got plenty of that silicone plastic, or that stuff that I make with silicone and a few other things. It's very difficult for me to say. Like I know what I know what I'm working with by what it is. I just can't say the names of these things. For y'all who've been around for a while, appreciate y'all bearing with me with the speaking very loosely. As y'all may have noticed already, I am not good with words. Anyhow, I'm going to start focusing on the ME system first and then expanding off of that. Maybe another, actually, I'll just cannibalize this machine and then get the assembly machine and make electron stuff there. Oh, also too, before I do go, as a final thing, I believe I've already moved all the shards from that area. Yes, I did. I made a wall of HV autoclaves here. This way I can put all the dusts of crystals that can be autoclaved into their own respective products. This should, one, allow me to have the autoclave in my workstation be reserved for stuff that's more required for tinkering, and two, I can have a bigger wall completely dedicated for crystal making at a faster rate. One of the biggest things I want to be able to make do with this is quartzite processing, convert those into quartzite for. I do have a wall here dedicated for quartzite making here. I want to start routing some of these items all over the place to be immediately deposited into the item ME system. So I'll at least be making use of item pipes to go into that deposit chest, and with it being part of the ME interface system, the deposit should be dramatically quicker to the point where I shouldn't have to worry much about item clogging. The only thing I have to worry about, which I doubt is anytime soon, would be the item extraction rate that the EV conveyor belts would have. That's like literally happening. One stack is literally being extracted 5 times in 1 second. That's pretty fast. And I imagine should I want to do this with an Ivy conveyor belt, it would be even more faster. But that's for a future matter. Anyhow, I will proceed onwards for the ME expansion. Okay, so I got the ME system pretty much, both ME systems relocated with a carrier network pretty much more centralized. I'm having the top portion of it be more like a connecting network between the two subnets, one being the item subnetwork and the other being a fluid subnetwork. Soon the top connections will be for the we'll have the essentially a subnetwork installed into it, but that's another time. Oh, in the meantime, routed down below, I got the dense ME cables routed down with their respective spines to where they need to go. I've also the ME connections. I've also had the carrier network to be reading the what each subnetwork has to as well by making use of the storage buses on the respective interface. Like the ME dual interface can read fluids with that, so the fluid storage bus can read that. Same idea with the regular ME interface with the MU storage bus there. Because of that, I can actually have all the crafting materials and the fluid terminals be directly read from the ME system. From I can read basically both subnetworks because of those buses. Anyhow, I've been noticing that I'm starting to dip down on my high octane gas supply. That's because I'm running short on butadiene, and butadiene's getting depleted due to the fact that I have no means of producing oil. So now, in order to secure production for high octane gas, I am now going to start proceeding on making some powerless ovens just for sake of getting the oil production going in that regard. So that way I can stay stocked up on high octane gas. Last thing I need is to run out of it and basically not have enough resources to do all the non-essential crafting. Before I do that, though, I did do some semi-automation on a bunch of things. So now I'm having all of the magnesium chloride and sodium go into this chemical reactor to return the chlorine and magnesium back into the system. So now I have like a closed loop system that's completely recycling all that. All the salt that's being produced will be rerouted back into the electrolyzers. Why is that the case? Is the chlorine well clogged now? Give me a sec. I need to check what's going on with chlorine. No, it's not. It should be. That's the thing with GTNH at times. Sometimes you come across issues that you have to contend to. This ain't working, there's that and that. So none of these tanks are able to have their fluids deposited out. Why is that? Oh, that's because I severed that connection. Oops. That is an easy fix. You know, ironically, I was expecting to spend more dense ME cables, but actually wound up saving more just doing what I was doing. I think I need these here. If I do, I can always expand off of that. So now the chlorine should be able to cause it. Yep, looks like it. There we go, 3.1 mil. And considering how much magnesium chloride I have in there, I expect that That'll be either be nearly or overstocked on chlorine afterwards. Good problem to have. Chlorine is one of those resources that I seem to not that I seem to can't get enough of. I've also semi-automated production for titanium now. Like I got a connection set up for the EBFs to pick up all the items that are coming out of these EBFs. Because that I have an automatic collection system now, so I can just automatically just put all the ingots into EBFs, and they'll automatically be imported into the output products will automatically be imported into the ME system. Yep, there's the drives for the items, of course, no secret in that point. But this is where I'm putting all the fluid drives for now. This might move again. I'll have to see how things go, depending on what I want to do this hallways. This also might expand again too as well, or move elsewhere. Then I gotta think about what to do with the Essentia room or the Essentia ME system. And because of the fact that all three networks are joined into one ME network, I'll have to keep close tabs on what goes on with the power system with all these turbines. Because if I don't keep up with these, I will deadlock myself out of the system. Anyways, I'm going to start focus on making more powerless ovens. I'm thinking at least two, but I want to make four. Ideally, I want to make eight more, only specifically for oil production, but I don't want to be dealing with the hassle right now. I just want to add all the powerless ovens to see what happens with the heavy oil levels. I'm able to turn 16 wood logs into heavy oil. And there might be a nitrogen version of these. No, there isn't. And this is an HV recipe, which means I will need at least MV energy hatches to get these to work. I can make do with that. I know what I'm doing for a bit. Meantime, I need to start crafting up all the circuits necessary to make the ovens. I'll see y'all then.
Alright. I think I got the means on making more powerless ovens, and I think I can do them at HV grade. Admittedly, I forgot the piping, but I can fetch those later. Because of these being a HV recipe, it will require at least MV energy hatches. I've decided to go ahead and just go for HV energy hatches instead. Don't mind pollution. But going through this should at least allow oil to be produced. I should have the wood throughput necessary to proceed on with that. Let suffer pollution for a bit, but I will live. Meantime, you can go ahead and get a time lapse going with this. Mouse just died on me.
Okay, so as a break with the time lapse here, I've went ahead and crafted myself the nanosuit armor since I'm due for an upgrade in armor anyways. Oh, I do got the traveler boots in there. I do want to go for the nano boots with the traveler, but that's going to require some more Thumbcraft research. Right now, I'm not focused on Thumbcraft. But at least I got gear that's much better than regular hazmat suit. Hazmat suit I was using earlier got flat out destroyed by a bunch of mobs. So I ain't got much of that left, so I might as well make myself the nanosuit armor. Speaking of, EBF's working with, so far the image system's working well with that. We got the rest of the parts necessary for the rest of the powerless ovens. So we're gonna get cracking at that. So I've just installed 4 more powerless ovens for oil. Turns out I misread the recipe. Only need one HV gas turbine. If I add more, it will require me to overclock a bunch of things, and I don't really want to overclock a lot of machines right now. But at least I got other turbines in place should I want to overclock these out a little bit more. But for now, I'm fine with this being like this. So each of these is producing about 12.5 liters of oil per second. So for these combined, that there is 50 liters of oil from these 4 powerless ovens being produced per second. I do have the powerless ovens set to void out any excessive items, so all the ashes that these are producing are going to get automatically voided out. I'm fine with that. Uh, I don't really have a way of recycling ash for other resources for the moment, but for now, this works. Good news is that now I got infinite heavy oil, which means I got all the other chemicals being produced for high octane gas. It also means I can comfortably void out excessive items and fluids off these distilleries. I don't think I could void anything off these, but I just gotta monitor power though, because doing all this is going to create a big draw on benzene. I'm pretty sure I don't have to worry about benzene right now, but I still want to monitor things out for a little bit to make sure that things are good. But yeah, looks like things really got going. A lot's been accomplished lately. I got the ME system set up to a more workable fashion to the point where to the point where most parts of the base is semi-automated. I got all the fluid ME systems relocated. All the ME systems were sorted out in a more centralized location. Got the powerless ovens going on for infinite petrochem now, which means I now have a nearly renewable way of getting high octane gas going. I only say nearly renewable because some recipes for I think acetic acid requires phosphoric acid. I might be wrong, but something requires phosphoric acid, which requires phosphor. Might be acetone that I'm talking about there. Don't quote me on that. I'm going to dig back to my notes. But yeah, gasoline 4/6 liter 5.4. I'm going to keep an eye on that there. In regards to benzene, I'll have to do the same there. Looks like the benzene here is staying at the same levels. If that's the case, then the physical tank should be saying the same thing. Because the ME system of benzene storage comes before the actual physical tank storage. And because of the fact I've really am overproducing on wood, I should not be seeing wood reserves be dipping down now. Yeah, wood and sapling supplies are staying the same overall. The nanosuit armor update is really helping a lot. It's much better than the hazmat suit I was using before.
defense-wise and utility-wise, and I can just simply recharge it. And it spares the need for me to have to use the atomic restore. Now, I would like to be able to do some extensive testing with the nanosuit armor there, see how well it handles damage, see if it's very survivable. I'm still having a feeling I'm going to have to rely off of this old iron armor set here, but I'll be able to make do. Anyhow, I'm going to go around and monitor what's going on with the power system, see if I'm at like a net gain on high octane gas. If so, we'll let that cool up for a little bit and then proceed onwards to processing more ores and stuff. And then, depending on the time of the episode I have left, I'll start working on the plat line. I do got some circuits to make in that case. Shouldn't be too hard to make, though. We'll have to make plenty of other fluid cells for the plat line. Anyhow, we'll see y'all then when I decide what to do next. So, some good news and some bad news. So, additional good news is that I was able to overclock the four powerless ovens to EV2 into all to EV tier. So I'm producing with those four powerless ovens together 200 liters of oil per second. Now that's enough to put oil production, the oil processing at half capacity. Now, in order for me to overclock them to EV power with 6 HV gas turbines, though, I had to create myself a bunch of HV superconductors. Reason being is 6 gas turbines will provide the 6 amps of HV power required to overclock the powerless ovens. What I've done here. Problem is with regular wire gold cables, I'm at like a 6 E loss, which is 6 E short for the 6 amps of HP power of supplying into that the powerless oven requires with those energy hatches. So the superconductors rinse that problem. Now I am having a increase of machines working right now, hence why the high octane gas is going to be depleted more than usual, especially considering that I'm processing a whole lot of barite right now. Things may the consumption may slow down drastically once all that gets done with. Now, in terms of EBFs, that's a different story. I'm gonna have those run and process all the neodymium and titanium. I'll be close to monitoring the high octane gas supply that way. Benzene should be stable still. Oh no, I actually dipped down a little bit on benzene. I will have to keep a close eye to what goes on with this here. The ME system will have its benzene deplete first before the physical tank. Keeping a close eye about this, I should be able to keep that from happening. Right now, my biggest constraint that I have for high octane gas production is the lack of butane. There's pretty much being consumed at capacity right now. So if I want to boost that, I'll have to invest more into specifically cracking for products that will yield more butane.
which sounds like to me a oil cracker recipe, and possibly requires more distillation towers to have a roundabout. I will want to expand upon that just to have three distillation towers for steam cracking and three distillation towers for hydro cracking. But that's for the distant future to consider. Now, I was planning on doing the platinum line in this episode, but considering the fact that this episode is already well over an hour, I'm going to have to not bother with that due to the time constraints. However, I can at least preserve the platinum line for next episode, so that's already a task in mind to do. I do want to add more powerless ovens for speaking of oil, for I'm only producing oil at half of what the oil processing capacity can do. Once I do that, I'll bring it up to the target 400 liters per second instead of the 200 liter per second I'm doing right now. Only thing that would slow me down with that is the fact I need to start creating the bricks necessary to make the bronze walls for the powerless oven walls. I can make the HV energy hatches easily at this point. I still got plenty of gas turbines to spare from all the gas turbines I've been replacing with the combustion generators. Yeah, I'm going to have to keep a very close eye at this. If I have to, I will ration resources even harder, especially benzene, because I will need benzene to keep everything going. Anyhow, y'all, for those of y'all stuck around for this whole episode, I do appreciate y'all's presence. More will be coming along the way. It's for sure platinum line. I just gotta create more fluid cells for that. Maybe another ME drive. And then I got to create all the LCRs necessary for it. I could theoretically be producing flatline materials just going LV power, but I want to go HV just for sake of having speed for doing things. Plus, too, I got a whole lot of means for making HV components, so why not? Of course, I have to make sure that my power infrastructure keeps up. But a lot has been done this episode. I'm rather content with the progress that I've completed with this. Anyhow, I'll go ahead and let this be a wrap and wish y'all a good day. I'll see y'all around for the next episode. Take care.